Hi, this week in CIS101, we are jumping right in. There's lots of stuff to do to get started, lots of places to connect and communicate and collaborate. Anyhow, we're getting everything all hooked up, and I think almost everybody has that by now. So let's jump into what we're going to talk about. Next week, the reading assignment is Unit 5 in the textbook, which is social media. And social media is a really important topic. It's super interesting to me about how people use that to connect. And you're already in social networks, like whether you realize that or not. Like we're all used to that already. You might be, well, you're probably in a family network, and you might be in a work group network. You might be in a church group network or a sports group network. And so you're already used to interacting with people in all of these different contexts and networks. Social media adds technology into that mix. And it makes it really interesting because sometimes people will do things and say things on social media that they wouldn't do or say when they're out playing soccer with their friends or in a competition or at a church group. So it's really interesting how that all works. So let me give you a tour of what we're going to do this week so that it looks familiar to you. When you log into Moodle, you'll now see a new button open or a new tile available. And under that tile are several resources, and it's broken into this video, the what are we doing this week, and the weekly checklist. The checklist is something that you can literally print off and check off. So the checklist gives you context to what all the individual things are that you'll see for the week, as does this video. You should always start with those two things first. The next thing we're going to look at is the think section, because I always want you to think big thoughts. And one of the issues with social media is that it vies for your attention. Like it takes up a lot of time sometimes. It's on your phone, it's in your pocket, it's on your computer. It just comes at you from all over the place. And so these two videos talk about attention. And I want you to think like the attention economy. What is that? What's an economy? Well, an economy is a way to trade value, right? So what makes something valuable in an economy? And if you've had economics, you probably already know this. What makes something valuable in an economy? Scarcity. If there's not a lot of it, it's worth a lot. Think about that. Think like gold. Think of any resources that are worth a lot of money, all right, are things that are scarce. If there's a ton of it, it's not very expensive. So put those two ideas together, attention and economy, and you might start to get an idea of what that video is all about. It's really interesting because I'm going to guess you didn't know some of that stuff happens the way it happens. This next section is the learn section. And one of the things I want you to learn about is how social media makes history. Now, in this video, it's by Clay Shirky. It's a TED Talk. It was filmed in, I think, 2009 or so. It was after the election, and Obama was a new president. And so it's a little bit dated in that. But I really like it because it actually gives some historical context to how communication happens and how technology has facilitated communication and how specifically social media has changed the whole landscape. So at one point he says 4 words. He says social media is now this, 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 and this. See if you can catch those 4 words and see if you understand what they mean. He'll say it's this, 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 and this. There's 4 words. This next part is learning, and you might already know how to do this. Like you might already have a Twitter account. I don't know. But we're going to use social media in this class in a very specific way. We're going to use it for academic purposes. We're going to use it to build up a personal learning network. We're going to use it to break outside the classroom walls, like even if they're virtual classroom walls. And so you can't just read about that. You have to do it. And so the answer is yes, you do have to create a Twitter account, but at the end of the semester, you can delete it if you want. You don't have to use it for anything other than what we're doing for class, or you might already have a very active Twitter life. I can tell you there's lots and lots of really interesting, good resources on there. And we'll dig deeper into that next week. That's the whole topic for next week. But for now, This is a GCF Learn tutorial. If you've never used GCF Learn before, you'll see that it's broken down into different categories or different lessons. And then when you read the lesson or go through it, it'll check it off. And they usually have videos, and they've got, yeah, it's really well put together. They're good videos, they're interesting tutorials, and it will help you out. So even if you think you know Twitter, it probably isn't a bad idea just to scan through what's there. Now, down in the Learn section, or I'm sorry, down in the Do section, this is the part you do. This is the part you get credit for. So create a Twitter account. Super easy. All you have to do when you get there, here's some information. Like if you already have one, go ahead and use it, or you can create one just for the class. But if you don't, here's information about how to do it. And then when you come down here, it'll say add submission. And when you click on that, all I need is your Twitter username. Now be really careful, like go to your actual, once you create it, go to your actual Twitter page, look at the link up at the top. Let me pull mine up just to show you what I'm talking about. No, not notifications. So my Twitter account's Prof. Curdy. Whoops. I want to go to a status update. I just want to go to my page. So when you go to your profile page, give me that link, okay? Give me the link to your profile page. This is a class of students. We were doing virtual reality, and so hopefully we'll get to do something with that in this class. So that's what you're going to do, is give me your Twitter link. That's all you need to do. No commentary, nothing. Type it in and save changes. That one's pretty easy. Whoops, let me back up a little more here. So this next thing under Do is a 2-minute introduction. All right. And so we're in an online class. It's a little hard to get to know people sometimes. And so I want you to make a 2-minute video of yourself talking about a couple of things. First of all, introduce yourself. I gave you a couple of questions here if you have no idea what to talk about. Really, it's just 2 minutes. All right. Because what that will do is that'll put a voice, and that will put interaction to your name. And so that'll help us all get to know each other a little better. So there's different ways you could do it. You could even open up Zoom, hit record, and do what I'm doing right now, and just record this in Zoom. And when you close Zoom, it downloads the video, super easy. Upload to YouTube, upload to Google Drive, and then share the link on the Discord channel. So always read, the details are always all in the assignment. And so always read through that. And then if you get confused, ask me questions. But I try to lay it out pretty well. The next thing we're going to do is discuss the attention economy. And so that's that other video. And so I give you some questions here to think about, and you're going to post this to Discord, to the Attention Economy channel. I don't want you to do it in a Q&A. I don't want you to type out like, how big a role does social media play in my life? Okay. Like write it out into a bit of a narrative and think through that. What I'm trying to do is get you to think through the bigger picture. Like, how are you using digital media, and what impact might it have in your life? Do you recognize anything from that attention economy video? Like, did any of that click with you? No pun intended. You'll know what I mean when you watch the video. Anyhow, think through the questions. And then what you're going to also do is summarize with, what do you think is the most important thing to know about this topic? And then find one resource. So find a web page, find an article, find something that talks about social media addiction or media balance or something else that's related, and share that with your response. Let's see, what else do we have here? One more thing. Actually, I don't know why this one's showing. That'll be hidden. That's for next week. The last thing you're going to do is a quick logging out journal. That one's not open until Friday at noon. I want you to do the other stuff first and then come do the journal. And it's just a quick couple of questions that will help me take the temperature of the class. It'll help me understand what you're understanding, or where you might be stuck, or how you feel overall about what's going on. So it shouldn't take you very long, but I would like you to do more than just say great or nothing or it's fine. Don't do that. And if it's great, give me an example of what's great. If it's challenging, give me an example of what's challenging. So help me understand where you're at with that. So that's what we're doing for the rest of the week. It shouldn't take you too long. It's a couple of videos to watch. It's a couple of thoughts to think. You might talk it over, like if you're married or you have friends or whatever, it would be interesting to find out what they think about some of those questions. And next week, we'll dive in deep. So if you have the textbook already, try to read chapter 5. If you don't have it already, then I will try to get a PDF up. I'm not sure I have them anymore, actually, but I'll try to get a PDF up of the chapter. But you really should try to get the book, all right? Or you really do need to get the book. You can rent it on Amazon for like 24 bucks or something is what I was told. And when you rent it, sometimes they give you a digital download so you can access it right away. Anyhow, that's what we're up to this week. Everybody's done a great job getting into Discord and getting into Moodle and getting into Zoom. And it's been a lot of fun meeting everybody. And just hang in there.